Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're having an amazing day. And today's overwintering vlog number 9 is going to be sort of the last one in the whole overwintering vlog series. And then possibly next week I'm going to be starting on the Polytunnel, rearranging the big clean up in there and do a little bit of a vlog series with that. But in this one it's just going to be rearranging and putting a few more plants that are in the Polytunnel, the hanging baskets, the Epiphytic Cacti, onto this plant stand. Now I think I mentioned in the video, it was yesterday or the day before, that was all of the cacti from the Polytunnel now to be overwintered. I was going to leave some of the the epiphytic cacti out there a bit longer, but I'm going to bring them in, I think, because the nights are getting pretty cool, and I've got some small slumbergea and some a little bit more fragile, and some of the ripsalis. So as you can see, this is my hanging basket that I bought in the other week, and put the ones that are out in the yard that are not so cold hardy, like the Hylocereus, commonly known as the dragon fruit type of cacti here, and my other big ripsalis, paradoxa, commonly known as the mistletoe cactus. That one scars, as you can see, easy if the temperatures get too cold. So I bought these in, and that's my ripsalis crispata. This one scars easy if it's kept too cold. Just forming little seed pods there. Very, very exciting. So these were already in the other week, but I'm going to bring some more that are just left in the Polytunnel to bring out here and put them onto the plant stand, then rearrange them all and show you what it all looks like afterwards. So let's go into the Polytunnel and get the rest of them out. Now here I am in the Polytunnel, and those of you who've watched over the vlogs, we've made loads of space where we brought the cacti and succulents that are not so cold hardy up into the grow rooms to overwinter under the grow lights. And obviously, as I mentioned just now, I'm going to be probably next week doing a whole video vlog series of rearranging all of this and giving all this a real good clean in the Polytunnel, sterilising everything so there's no dead leaves or hidden pests anywhere. As you can see, I have a lot of plants all on the floor because I've been lifting plants off tables onto the floor to get to things. So this is going to be good fun next week, rearranging and revamping all of this. But as you can see, we have a lot of hanging baskets. Now, I usually keep the majority of these actually outside here all through the past 2 winters in the Polytunnel. But a couple of them did sort of scar a little bit. This one here is a slumbergea truncata, and it has a little bit of scarring on it due to the cold. And also the ripsalidopsis. And some of the ripsalis here, as you can see. So these ones I'm going to be bringing in. Also the orange Brazil. This is Schlumberger tendenza orange Brazil. Has the most amazing orange flowers on it. And if you want to see what this beauty does look like in flower, then do check out a video. Links up above of this gorgeous Schlumberger tendenza orange Brazil in flower. And as you can see, it does sort of scar quite easily. This has actually had too much sun, believe it or not, when we had it out in the yard. It's desperate to be repotted, so I'm going to be repotting that also and bringing that in on the hanging basket. I don't know whether it's going to flower this year because obviously it's going to be in my office and I have the lights on. It may affect it because they do need the natural day length to flower, but to be honest, I just prefer to overwinter it to be on the safe side. This one could stay out here. It's already in bud, so I don't want to be bringing anything that's already showing buds as such with that one. And this one here is my big ripsalis. The other little ripsalis I've got here is also all in bud, so hopefully it will still continue. It's just a little tufts coming out there forming flower buds. Hopefully it will still continue to flower when I put it in on the plant stand. And this big one, the reason why I'm bringing this big one in is because although it overwintered very well in the Polytunnel last year, it does still need to be watered throughout the winter. And the problem we have is, obviously, as you can see, the majority of our plants have to be kept, they're desert type of cacti, need to be kept completely dry and arid over the winter period. And when you're having to water plants, even though you're not watering any of these, it does create more humidity in the Polytunnel. And that's the last thing we want, because we have a high humidity problem here in Ireland. So biggest problem we have isn't the cold temperatures, we have mild winters. It's keeping the humidity down. So anything that has to still be watered throughout winter, even if it's only once a month, is coming into the house this year. And also going to be bringing this big giant as well for the same reasons. And it's a little one underneath there, 2 different types. There's actually a few different types of ripsalis in this hanging basket. I planted them all up together to save on space, and it looks more decorative. As you can see, some are slightly different colours and different. This is more of a small clumping type one, and this one is more thicker stemmed variety. And look at that, isn't that gorgeous? And this one is a lovely little almost grass like ripsalis. So that's the ones I'm going to be bringing in. Also, there's a little epiphyllum here. It's a cutting. Some of the young ones, we've got Slumbergira, very young sort of cuttings that will need to come in because they'll still need to be watered. This one is actually in flower. So I'm going to put it into my grow room. It's also my office, sort of facing the same direction. Hopefully it will still continue. The buds won't drop off. This one as well is also all in bud. But this one sort of scarred last year as well. They do prefer ideally to be kept above the 7-8 Celsius during winter, because they do need to still be watered because they're winter flowering. The damp and the cold is not really good. We heat our polytunnel at a minimum of 5 degrees Celsius, 41 degrees Fahrenheit. It usually stays above that, usually about the 7-8 degree mark. But because we have a thermostatic heater, which is there, which we're going to be putting out into the middle when I've rearranged all of this, that kicks on if the temperature just dropped to 5 or below. So it's a bit of a safety thing. We do get mild winter here, usually in Ireland, and here we're up in the north of Ireland. It's usually very mild, but as you know, we still get the cold nights, and the humidity is the biggest problem. This one's going to be coming in for that reason, because that's going to need to be watered. Again, I hope the buds stay on. So let's have a scooty round to see which ones to bring in. That's pretty much it. And this one is these are for epiphyllums, although they're more sort of cuttings. They're big enough to stay out here, because they'll be kept sort of more or less dry over the winter. But this one is epiphyllum. It's called the curly one. It's Guatemalensis monstera, and it's gorgeous sort of wavy appearance to it. But we kept this out last year, and it's sort of also sort of scarred a little bit. So this we're going to be overwintering in. So what I'm going to be doing now is focusing on the small ones I'm going to be bringing into the house and onto the plant stand, and show you what I choose to bring in with the small ones. Now, that's what I bought in to start off with, just some of the smaller Slumbergiras, and the ones that still need to normally be watered over the winter period quite regularly, as obviously they're in small pots, and I prefer to keep everything in the polytunnel that's going to stay mostly dry. And I've decided to bring in this year this lovely, very old Epiphyllum that we got last year from a fantastic cactus, it's a fantastic houseplant garden nursery called Urban Plant Life in Dublin, and it overwintered very well in our polytunnel last year, but I wanted to get it repotted during the summer. I never got round to it, and because I still want to repot it, I'm actually going to bring this into the house this year and give it another repot and keep it pretty dry. And not quite sure where I'm going to put it, possibly in my office and grow room. It's just that it is one that does sort of scar in cooler temperatures. Again, it's not so much the cold temperatures, it is more the humidity. But for some reason, I just want to bring this into the house this year. All my other epiphyllums, including all the epiphyllum hanging baskets and the big epiphyllums, are all going to be staying out there to overwinter in the polytunnel. No problem, as long as they're kept dry. But as I say, this one is going to be brought in because it's not so cold hardy as the other ones. So that's the small ones. Obviously, I'm going to then do the hanging baskets and bring the hanging baskets in. But first of all, I'm going to bring these upstairs and show you where I've decided to put them all. Now that's them all put away. I've put the lovely big epiphyllum that we got from Urban Plant Life in Dublin on the little table here, this little wheelie table. I can wheel in and out. So it means I can wheel this out when I get to all of these. And some of the little Slumbergira cuttings I've got here in between the plants. Here, the little epiphyllum there also. And this one I'm hoping it's going to keep its buds, but it's going to be interesting to see. And I can reach all of the plants. Plenty of space still around them, which is really good. And what I've done here is I've rearranged a few of the plants, the hanging basket epiphytes that are already on there, and I've left 2 big hooks here because that's where I'm going to put the 2 big Ripsalis on this side here. So I've made a bit of space before I bring the other ones up, and now I'm going to go and bring the big hanging baskets in. Back in the polytunnel again, and I'm going to, as I say, these big, I'm going to start off first of all, obviously these are coming, this one's coming in with the 2 biggest of the hanging baskets, which is these 2 here. And as I say, these are big hanging baskets, these are going to stay out. This is a Slumbergira Buckley, the traditional, the true Christmas cactus, because it has the scalloped edging on it, and this did overwinter fantastically here in the polytunnel last year, and it had the most amazing flowers on it. So I'm going to leave it in here to overwinter this year as well. I've given it one last really good water because it's in a big basket. This will probably not need to be watered now, and probably till about January time, and I can deal with that then, but it is beautiful. So I'm going to keep that. I'll probably move some of these in different places, because the biggest problem, they bang our heads, as you can see when we walk in, but this one's going to be coming in anyway, and as I say, this one here, and this one. But I'm going to be dealing with the two largest first, which is this big giant and this big giant. And I'm going to turn the camera off because I can't film and lift these two giants at the same time. That's the two big tall ones put away there. There's the big Ripsalis on here, and the other one on there too, with the little one underneath. And I've decided to move that other big Ripsalis paradoxa because it just looks a bit more aesthetically better like that. And then I'm going to bring the smaller ones in now. And I see this is my office as well as my grow room, and one of the grow rooms, and it's nice and bright anyway. So I don't think we need to put any additional grow lights onto this plant stand. But if we did, I can always get one and put one on there. But I think I'm going to leave it as it is, nice and bright. And I say Ripsalis and Hylocereus and some of the Slumbergeras don't need full sunshine anyway, especially in the winter, so that'll actually be better on here. Looks lovely so far. And now I'm going to bring in the smaller ones. Now that's the last of the small ones there, all brought in. So as I say, I'll put the bigger ones all up on the plant stand. These are just what I got left. And now I'm going to put them onto the plant stand and show you what it looks like when it's all up. Ta-da! That's it all done. And Hans was great. He came and helped me fit these little fittings on here so I could fit more onto the poles, and it's looking pretty good, I have to say. Lots and lots of different types of epiphytic cacti all in my office on the big plant stand. And as I say, I think they're going to get plenty of natural light coming in from the window anyway, but if they look like they needed a bit more light in the winter, I can add a grow light over the plant stand, but I'll see how it goes. But it looks pretty good. And if you want to know how to grow epiphytic cacti, including all the different types, do check out a video I have made on how to care for and grow epiphytic cacti. Links up above. And if you want to know a bit more about cacti and succulents, and you want to have a look at my website, please do. desertplantsofavalon.com. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until the next video, bye. Ooh, wow. Welcome to the jungle.